All right, today we're going to be replacing this outlet with a more modern style outlet, such as this. Now the faceplate itself is going to be different, but we do have a replacement for it. Now the reason we're going to be changing it is you can look here, this goes in, but it doesn't stay in. It falls out. It's very loose, this outlet, so it's just worn out. And for some reason, the previous owner actually elected to paint the outlet instead of replacing them. All right, first thing we're going to do is we are going to make sure we had no power in there, which is what we do with this tool here. Next thing we do is take the screw out right here, unscrew it. Take this and put it to the side. Now, you're also going to notice that these have been painted quite a bit. You can see how this one here is broken loose already, but this one down here, it's still covered in paint. We don't want to rip the drywall apart, so we're going to take a razor knife just like this here, and we're going to come in just like this. And we're just going to cut around the very bottom where it connects onto the drywall with the paint. Just like that. Now we take it off later. We will be real careful with this, of course. Okay, just like that. Okay. Now believe it or not, there's a screw underneath here, even though you can't see it, it's covered in paint. There is a screw underneath there. And this one here, you can see the paint is actually all through the thread. So we're going to tap it here just to get the paint out just like that, so we can get our screwdriver in here like this and hopefully get these screws out. Okay, so that's trash as well. Now we're going to take this out very carefully because we don't want to damage the drywall, right? Okay, now we're going to pull this out from the socket like this. You see how these wires go up and down? We are going to put them back in the same way, so just note where they are, okay? These bend up and those bend down. All right, now you can see these are a different kind. These are actually pushed in to a small little groove here it's a one where you push it in and it will not pull back out. There is a little tool that you can put in here to pull them out, but you really don't have to worry about that. There's plenty of extra wire in this box. So we're just going to come in here and we're going to cut these off at the bottom, just like this. Now note the location of where you're taking these out. The black wires are on the right side of the outlet. So this is our power leads right here, and this is our neutral or return right here. So you have to put them back on the exact same way you took them off. Black to the right side over here, and the white to the left side here. And this is our ground. Okay? So now we're going to take these, we're going to cut this off here as well. There, and there. This one, either you can cut it, or you can unscrew it. I'm just going to unscrew it. I just don't understand why somebody would take the time to paint the outlet instead of just replacing it. These, you can get them so cheap, it doesn't even pay to take the time to put the paint on there. Okay, all right, so this is the replacement. We're going to put it back in just like this. But before we do anything, we're going to screw that screw back in all the way, because we are going to push the wires in the back right here, there, 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 and there, and it will lock in place too. Now, if yours was a screw and these wires were connected onto the screw, then obviously you can just unscrew them, take them off, put them on the new one, screw it back in. But that's not the case here. So we're going to take these and screw them all the way back in. You don't want to leave these out. You want to screw them in as far as you can go and tighten them down. Just like that. Same thing over here. And here. Okay, so now they're screwed in all the way. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our wire strippers and we're going to come in here, we're going to strip off about 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of wire. Just like that. And we're going to use the tool, cut it like this, and just pull it. And it comes right off. just like that. We'll do the exact same thing to this other one here as well. Okay, so now we have our wires stripped down to where we need them. We're going to take our socket and we're going to push it into this hole here and here, the black ones. Remember, the black was on the right side, so you have to put it back in the same way you took it out. Okay? It goes in here like this, and you push it, and you feel it lock in. Give it a tug, make sure it's tight. Do the exact same thing on this one here. Push it in. It's tight, nice and tight. Now, if you do not want to have a lot of insulation removed, you don't want to have much copper showing. A little bit of copper showing is acceptable, but you don't want to have, a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch of copper showing here. You do not want that to happen. All right, so if that's the case, you just shorten down the wire. Okay. Next thing now we're going to do is going to take our other wire. We're going to come in over here, right there. Push it in. Locks in. Same thing here. Take this one, bring it in here, push it, locks in place, and all of our wires are now tight. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to reconnect our ground wire on here. Now a ground wire, you want to have the ground, you don't want to put the ground wire on. This screw here, it tightens up clockwise, like this. So you do not want to put a wire on like this and then tighten that down, because that'll actually cause this wire to open up and it won't be tight. What you want to do is you want to turn the wire just like this, put it through here like that, around the ground like that, come in here with a pair of needle nose and squeeze it together just like that, so that the wire is nice and tight. You're going to hold it and then you tighten it down with your screwdriver. Same thing here. After it's tight, we just snug it down just like this, nice and tight, and that's it. Okay, now the ground wire, we want to keep that down and away from everything, and we're going to take these wires and we're going to bend them down. Like that. And then we screw this screw into the wall. You're going to catch these loosely. You're not going to tighten them up tight. You're just going to catch it by a couple threads. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom down here. Just a couple of threads. And now once you have both of them caught, then you can snug them down until this piece touches against the wall. Okay, nice and tight. These pieces are now touching against the wall. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do we're going to get our new cover, put our new cover on here like this, hold it in place, and we're going to catch these two screws here, couple threads, and then we'll do the exact same thing here, couple of threads, and then we can snug them down. Once you have both of them caught, you can snug it down. And that's all there is to it. Alright, now this goes in here like that. We're going to go turn the circuit breaker on, and once we turn that circuit breaker on, we'll know that this socket is actually wired correctly. Now, invest in one of these are fairly cheap, and you can't make a mistake, because it tells you right here what happens if you put something in incorrectly. It'll tell you on this machine here. Alright, so we're just going to go turn the light switch on, and this job will be done. Alright, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.